In December 1938, a 23-year-old man in New Jersey was arrested and photographed for a police record. The charge? Seducing a married woman? The mugshot showed a skinny young man with sharp eyes, half defiant, half nervous. No one looking at that photo could have imagined that this same man would one day become one of the most influential voices in music history. That man was Frank Sinatra. But the legend of Sinatra didn't begin with fame, bright lights, or roaring applause. It began with struggle. Frank Sinatra was born on December 12, 1915, in Hoboken, New Jersey. His birth was so difficult that doctors had to use forceps to pull him out, leaving permanent scars across his cheek and ear. For a moment, the newborn wasn't breathing. Then he credained, survived. Those scars stayed with him for life. Growing up in a small apartment in an Italian neighborhood, Sinatra was an only child. His father worked long shifts as a firefighter, while his mother was a midwife deeply involved in local politics. Most days, young Frank was left alone. Outside, children played in groups. Inside, Sinatra had only one companion, the radio. He would stand close to the speaker, listening carefully, singing along with every song, practiced holding his breath at the end of phrases, trying to stretch every note. Even then, without realizing it, he was developing the style that would later change popular music forever. School wasn't his path. His grades were average, and eventually he dropped out without graduating. To survive, he took odd jobs delivering goods, hauling loads, helping in restaurants. But every chance he got, he sang. In 1935, his first real opportunity arrived. Sinatra joined a small singing group that later became known as the Hoboken Four. They competed on a popular radio show called Major Beau's Amateur Hour and won. Suddenly, Sinatra was touring across the United States and Canada, performing in theaters and dance halls. The schedule was brutal. The pay was small. But it was his first step into the world of professional music. Soon after, tensions within the group pushed him out. He returned to Hoboken and started again from scratch, singing wherever anyone would let him. Then in 1939, everything began to change. Sinatra joined the orchestra of bandleader Harry James. It was his first experience inside the professional music industry recording studios, structured arrangements, national tours. Soon after, he moved to Tommy Dorsey's orchestra, one of the biggest bands of the swing era. That's where Sinatra truly learned his craft. He studied how Dorsey played the trombone, noticing how smoothly he could stretch a breath across long musical phrases. Sinatra began applying the same technique to his voice, singing in a soft, intimate style that felt less like performing and more like speaking directly to the listener. Then, in 1940, everything exploded. The song I'll Never Smile Again climbed to #1 on the Billboard charts and stayed there for weeks. Suddenly, the quiet singer from Hoboken was becoming a national sensation. By 1942, Sinatra made a bold decision. He left Dorsey's orchestra and launched a solo career. It was a huge risk. But the gamble worked. Teenage fans, especially young girls, began screaming at his concerts, creating one of the first true pop star frenzies in history. The press gave him a nickname that would follow him forever, The Voice. Yet Sinatra's story wasn't a straight climb to the top. In the early 1950s, his career collapsed. His voice suffered damage, radio bookings disappeared, and his personal life, especially his turbulent relationship with actress Ava Gardner, dominated headlines. For a moment, Hollywood believed Sinatra was finished. Then in 1953, he stunned everyone. His performance in From Here to Eternity won him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. At the same time, signed with Capitol Records and began recording albums that changed the entire music industry. Instead of releasing random singles, Sinatra created full albums built around a single emotional theme. Chords like In the Wee Small Hours and songs for Swingin Lovers didn't just sell millions, they redefined how music could be experienced. By the 1960s, Sinatra was no longer just a singer. He was a cultural force. With the Rat Pack alongside Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr., he ruled the stages of Las Vegas. He founded his own record label. He starred in films, and his lifestyle became legendary. Then came one of his most iconic songs, My Way. Released in 1969, it became the perfect summary of Sinatra's life. A man who had faced fame, failure, love, loss, and still stood on his own terms. Frank Sinatra passed away on May 14, 1998, at the age of 82, but his influence never disappeared. He transformed the role of the singer. Before Sinatra, the vocalist stood behind the orchestra. After Sinatra, the voice became the center of the music. And even today, when that voice begins soft, controlled, unmistakable light, feels like time itself speaking through a song. If you want to discover more powerful stories behind the world's greatest legends, subscribe to Star Memories.